Well, I think it's President Trump trying to show that CEOs who kind of abandoned him after the Charlottesville thing a year ago are kind of coming back and are willing to meet with him and talk to him about the economy and tax cuts and presumably tariffs and trade. So I think, the takeaway from that is Trump is engaging again with a lot of these high-level CEOs who are obviously favorable to some of his agenda on taxes and regulations and that sort of thing, not such big fans of his trade agenda.
We had a story yesterday about how some study says that companies should just not talk about President Trump, period, because it can just lead to no good. But that aside, there are other issues at play right now with the China trade and tariffs discussions going on. The next tit, I guess, for tat in that whole scenario has come up. How is this playing out right now? I mean, do we have a sense that the business community is going to start to kind of feel it a little bit? They haven't said it in their earnings calls thus far. Yeah, I think so. I mean, probably not on just this next $16 billion tranche, but if you get into the $200 billion that they're talking about later this year, and then Trump has talked about $500 billion, and businesses obviously are feeling it in steel and aluminum, those who use those inputs in industry, and certainly consumers would start to feel it on all of the Chinese imports. So I think, we're at a point where it's pinching at the margins. And you see a lot of local headlines. Like in South Carolina, there was a story about a manufacturer laying people off, and Republicans are not really going to like a lot of these local headlines showing that the tariffs are impacting smaller companies, smaller businesses, maybe not the Fortune 500 on earnings calls, but small businesses are feeling the heat from these tariffs. That's tough headlines for Republicans going into the midterm. All right, so we got a big Midwest special election in Ohio. It's not going to play out markedly because they're going to have to go back again in the midterms to re-elect this person or hypothetically somebody else. What does it signal, this idea that we are still too close to call on the Republican versus the Democratic side in this special election outside of Columbus, Ohio? It's certainly a wake-up call for Republicans. This is a district around Columbus that has been reliably Republican for decades. 30-plus years. Yeah, 30-plus years. And before that, another 50-plus years. So this is a very Republican district. Trump won it by double digits. The fact that Democrats made it this close should remind Republicans that they have a difficult playing field in the fall. Democrats need 23 seats to take the House. If they can get close in a district like this, there are plenty of other more friendly districts in the suburbs where some Republican voters don't love Trump that Democrats can pick off. So Democrats obviously would rather win this seat, but getting close is a good signal for them.